Good evening. My name is Michelle Krasowski, Librarian Specialist in support of adult services for Contra Costa County Library. On behalf of the Contra Costa County Library, I want to welcome you to tonight's forum. We have worked closely with the West County League of Women Voters, the County Election Department, and CCTV to bring this program to our community. It will stream live on Facebook and will be available online after the program on the Library and County Elections Department websites, as well as the League's Voters Edge website. Please join me in welcoming our moderator for this evening, Tyra Wright from the West County League of Women Voters. Ms. Wright serves on the board of the West County League.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start off by having the candidates introduce themselves, 1 minute each, starting with Mr. Anthony Caro.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Anthony Caro, and I'm running because I want to be what I currently don't see on the school board, and what I don't see as a community organizer. For the past few years, I've been working in the city of Richmond as a community organizer, meaning I've been listening to the needs of parents, students, and teachers and acting on those needs. I don't see that on our board because I don't see our board going out into the community and asking what parents and students feel that they need in terms of policy. I've been showing up to school board meetings, every single school board meeting, for almost the past 2.5 years. I've attended school board meetings outside of our district. I've attended school site council meetings inside our district and outside our district. So I've been around here listening to hear what needs to be done. The reason I decided to run, it was last year, because I was tired of the board not listening to some of the demands that we community members had to make. So I'm here, experienced, ready to run, I'm ready to go, and I'm asking for your vote. Thank you.
Mr. Carlos Taboada.
Good evening. My name is Carlos Taboada. Of course, I'm running for school board, like everyone else here. I'm running for school board. And I have been a teacher and counselor in our schools for more than 21 years. I know the district. I have lived through its best and its worst moments. I know we have a wealth of qualified, talented teachers and a group of students that are very, very eager to learn. But somehow good results that we expect are sporadic and don't happen as often as we want them to be. I want to offer our children what they need, a practical, hands-on education. I have a program, and I stand for offering everyone, all our students, both vocational and college skills to succeed in the information economy of today. Thank you very much.
Ms. Consuelos Lara.
Yes, hello. My name is Consuelo Lara, and I consider myself the teaching and learning candidate. I was a successful teacher in this district for 16 years, and always got great results in my classroom, and as a chairperson and as the teacher leader and a teacher coach and a trainer. I also knew how to bring out the best in my colleagues. So I also witnessed schools being turned around, and so I know what that takes. I know what it means for us to have academic success. I also want to see safer schools, and I want to see our students ready to get a job when they graduate from our schools. And this is something that I have a lot of experience in. So also right now I'm retired, been retired for about 3 years, and I've been working with,
Ms. Elizabeth Block.
Hi, thank you for having me here tonight. My name is Liz Block, and I'm running for my second term on the Board of Education, and I'm so happy to be in a library. I love libraries, so this is one of the last great things in America, I think. I hope by the end of the evening you'll see why I deserve a second term on the board. During my first 4 years in office, I pushed for and we achieved a 15% raise for many of our employees, put more dollars towards teaching and learning, put controls on our $1.7 billion bond program, and began an ambitious project to improve the climate in our schools. But we have so much more to do, and that is why I'm running for a second term. I will tell you more about my candidacy and my hopes for the next term, because I'm sure that B is going to raise that card up. Thank you so much.
Ms. Madeline Cronenberg?
Thank you to the league, and thank you to CCTV for being here tonight. I'm Madeline Cronenberg. I've been on your school board for the last 12 years. I've been elected 3 times. I began my journey in the school district back in the 80s when my children entered the school system, and I've been here ever since. During that time, I've also served as a teacher in at Hayward Adult School. I won the Teaching Excellence Award for the state of California. I then served also as a parent advocate and leader throughout the time my kids were in school, all the way through the bankruptcy, and then on into my time on the board. The entire time I've been on the board, our test scores have gone up. We've improved the facilities in our community, and my work here, though, is not done. There's much more to do, and I hope you let me stay and partner with our young superintendent to do it in the future.
Mr. Michael Gonzalez.
Hello, my name is Michael Gonzalez. I am married with 4 children, all of whom have gone through this district. I was a classroom teacher, gladly to say, by my observation, not a very good one, but I worked hard. As a school principal, I was outstanding, but as an educational researcher, I learned from my prior experiences, and I believe I was a phenomenal educational researcher, turning around over 25 school districts throughout the state of California and over 100 schools of the lowest performing schools in the state of California, turning those around within 2 to 3 years. I am also a pastor of a local church, and it's my desire, my heart's desire, to bring all of my experiences to this district to do the same for the other districts that I've done around the state, turn them around immediately.
Mr. Patricio Duhan.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here and thank you for watching. My name is Patricio Duhan, and I'm running for school board because I know that we can do better. We're not serving our students of color well across the district, and I want to bring my valuable experience and my valuable perspectives to the school board to turn things around. I have 2 daughters in public school. They attend public school in 1st grade and 6th grade in Point Richmond. I am a Latino immigrant. I came to this country knowing no English, and thanks to great public schools, I was able to succeed, graduate UC Berkeley, and go on to graduate school. I dedicated my life, my career to education as a public school teacher, as well as an educational leader working with districts across the country to turn themselves around. So I want to bring that expertise to the board because I know that we can make West Contra Costa a district where people are moving into to go to school rather than looking for other options when they're here and looking for other schools to go to. So I humbly ask for your vote.
Ms. Stephanie Hernandez Jarvis.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Hernandez Jarvis, and I'm a public school teacher. I'm the only public school teacher that's currently running for the school board position, and I'm also a mother. I'm also an immigrant, and I came here to this country when I was 10. I've been through different systems in California, public school systems that really have helped to propel me to where I am today. It's easy, I think, to talk the talk and to say what we want to accomplish. Teacher retention, social emotional learning curriculum that can be applied systemically to improve our school climates and reduce bullying, and to really help our ELLs be, proficient in reading through having an expansion of DLI programs. But I'm actually walking the walk. I'm not just saying, yes, we can do this, yes, we can do that. I'm there every day. Today I taught, tomorrow I'll teach, and in the near future I want to lead our district into its full potential. And we need to serve each child and advocate for their parents to become full-on advocates as well and use them as partners. And yes, we have limited resources and limited budget, but we have a lot of social and people capital that we can use to bring our district to where it needs to be for our kids. Thank you.
Ms. Valerie Cuevas.
Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you to the League of Women Voters and to the CCTV for making this available to everybody. My name is Valerie Cuevas. I'm currently serving as the school board president of West Contra Costa Unified School District. I'm running for one more term. I have no interest in being a career politician, but I do know we're faced with major issues in our district, and there are things that I do have. I have school board experience. I have expertise when it comes to K-12 best practices. I have a passion for equity and closing the gaps that affect all our kids, and I have leadership results. Over the last 4 years, I've made sure that listening to the community, that we have in fact offered more academic supports to our students, delivered more funds to our local school sites, because that's what matters most. We've passed a positive school climate policy. We've passed competitive salaries for our hardworking teachers and staff, and we've made sure we're more accountable when it comes to our school construction and bond program. All of that because we listen to the community. On top of that, we've hired a new superintendent. We're going to be faced with a $353 million budget and a major requirement for budget cuts. Now is the time when you need folks who've actually been on the school board to usher those budget cuts, not new folks. Please vote for Valerie Cuevas.
Miss Vanessa Callaway.
Good evening. Thank you for the invite to all who put this event together and the community for coming out. My name's Vanessa Callaway, and I'm a champion for students, I'm a champion for families, and I'm a champion for employees. I've been on both sides of the token. I've been a product of West Contra Costa Unified School District. At the time, it was Richmond, and I've also been an unclassified employee of West Contra Costa Unified School District. I currently sit on the steering committee for House Ed, which is an organization that believes in bridging the gap between housing, projects, and education. And I also sit on the advisory board for LEAP, Literacy for Every Adult programs. And so I want to be the voice of the disconnect. I want to be able to educate our students or make for sure our students are educated as well as the parents being educated and heard as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Our question this evening, you will each have 1 minute in which to answer, and that is, in the 2012 lawsuit, Vergara versus California, a judge ruled that teacher tenure, due process rights, and lack of test-based evaluation denied African American and Latino children the right to a quality education. The ruling was later overturned. The question, do you agree with the judge in the initial ruling? By what metrics should teachers be evaluated? Starting with Mr. Anthony Caro.
All right, so by what metric should teachers be evaluated? I'm going to ignore that first part of the question because I would like to do more research into that specific case before I say whether I agree or disagree with it. As for evaluating teachers, this is something that I've actually been working on for the past years, developing a system that doesn't criticize our teachers but shows them what they could be working on. So part of my campaign has been doing research into what other school districts have been doing and to ideas that we could bring here. One system that I've seen work is where you have students fill out a questionnaire about their teacher. And now these questions aren't, do you like your teacher or do you hate your teacher? These questions are, do you feel challenged? Do you feel ready to learn? Do you feel like you're being supported? Do you know who to go to when you need help? I feel like if we implement this system in our district, our teachers will have a better idea of knowing how good of a job they're doing, because grades aren't enough. Just telling which teacher has the highest grades in their class, that's not an estimate of how good that teacher is. You know, that just shows you how those students are doing on that particular exam. So what I want to do is create a system where our teachers are getting feedback from our students. Thank you.
Mr. Taboyra.
Okay, give me a minute. Okay, time started. Okay, starting here too. Well, this is an interesting case. I agree with half of what was proposed as our comment. It is true that what is called a colorful league, students of color are being underserved, and they're always at the receiving end, on the short end of the achievement gap. But I think this issue evades the real question. The real point, however, is a system, okay? We have a class system, the normal functioning of which generates inequities, inequalities. And in order to remedy this, we need to embark on a broad program of educational, social, economic, and political reform. That is what is needed. And teachers and districts should be evaluated as to whether they are producing use values, we're producing useful citizens. Thank you.
Ms. Consuelo Lara, same question.
Yes, I think there's a lot of different layers to the question and to the answer. The first thing that comes to mind is, as a teacher and as a teacher trainer and leader, the things that made all of us be better teachers was being able to collaborate with each other and have time to read, to study, to look at research, to to look at our students and determine the best approaches and strategies and techniques. So I remember that process, and I remember it being very effective. And then the other thing would have to be an administrator who is really an instructional leader and comes into the classroom and knows what to look for in terms of good classroom practices. And so that, to me, is two of the levels for classroom teacher evaluation. So that would just be part of it.
Ms. Elizabeth Block.
Well, I don't need to ask students if they think their teacher is doing a good job, or I don't have to ask the teachers if they think they're learning, because we'll find out by what they could do. We don't need to get public opinion on that. The children are telling us by their reading level and their math level what they can and cannot do. And that is, the system is unfair, because I'm very supportive of unions, but we need to change our setup so that children who need the most help and are the most difficult to teach because they come to school at the least should not have the least experienced teachers. I 100% agree with this, and I'm sorry that it got overturned. We're not asking for all the kids to be at a certain level. We just want them to make progress in the teacher's class. Make progress.
Thank you. Mrs. Cronenberg.
The Vergara case was a really interesting one. I mean, basically, the question was, does teacher tenure, is teacher tenure more important than generational poverty in affecting a child's outcome? Children who come to school with truly difficult, struggling backgrounds are not in the same, don't have the same ability to learn as quickly as other children. This is not, these children aren't going to be impacted by whether or not their teacher had tenure. Whether or not their teacher has tenure is a totally separate issue. I think in terms of teachers, tenure protects them and allows them to grow. But I think as far as generational poverty, our children need additional supports in the classroom. So classrooms that are struggling, classrooms of families that come from difficult backgrounds need to have multiple teachers, multiple supports in the classroom. The answer to solving that problem deals with how we put those supports in, and that we put them in.
Mr. Michael Gonzalez.
I believe the question asks, how should we evaluate teachers? And I would say we should evaluate teachers in two ways, according to what's reported in the book, No More Excuses, a book about 21 high poverty districts with high test scores in California. No More Excuses. And the way they evaluate teachers is on two measures. Number one, do you have content knowledge? You can't teach what you don't know. But number two, the ability to collaborate with other teachers, because what is necessary in looking at school reform from an equity standpoint is not the individual teacher, but the grade level teams and how well they work together. So you evaluate your teachers based on content knowledge and ability to collaborate with other teachers.
Thank you. Mr. Patricio Duhan.
Thank you. Yeah, the lawsuit brings up a lot of important issues, and I think it highlights the fact that we're not serving our students, and at West Contra Costa is a prime example where we're not serving our students of color. 30% of third graders are reading on grade levels. That means 70% are not, and that's a recipe for failure across the grades and is part of the school to prison pipeline that we need to break. So I would focus on what's the priority for students, making sure that everyone's reading in third grade and we have interventions to support those that are not, and we're implementing the interventions well so that we can catch students up. I would focus on professional development for teachers so they can differentiate and work with all students, and then I would focus on changing school climate. So we have a culture at school that's focused on academic success, and rather accepting failure. So that's what I would focus on when as part of the school board.
Thank you. Ms. Stephanie Hernandez-Jarvis.
As a teacher, what really helps me learn and grow as an educator is having collaboration time and having the ability to engage in cycles of inquiry. So, and I mean, when you're a new teacher, you go through the teacher induction program and you have a mentor at your school and a coach for the district, and they work with each other and with you on how to grow as a teacher. But then after you graduate from that, you're essentially kind of on your own with your principal and whoever's at your site. I think we need to have systemic approaches at how we're going to engage teachers who are in the profession for more than 3 years and going on cycles of inquiry and having to do with, setting smart goals. Like our kids, we have to set a smart goal and the activity to address that goal that's measurable, timely, and focused, and really can be achieved by focusing on growing in the area that you want to grow. So if you want to grow in classroom management, you want to make sure that you can be evaluated by your principal in the areas that you chose to grow in, such as student engagement or parent engagement. But we have to engage in cycles of inquiry to grow. Thank you.
Thank you. And again, the question is, do you agree with the judge in the initial ruling, and by what metrics should teachers be evaluated? Valerie Cuevas.
Thank you. So I actually looked at the Vergara case very closely, and what I found what the issues were was not necessarily, it had to do with tenure, but it also had to do with our most neediest kids, our most neediest learners, and what was systemically happening to them. And what was happening is that they were getting prescribed a set of educators who maybe didn't have the content expertise, maybe didn't have the supports, and that wasn't the fault of the kids, but maybe they had tenure. So they had to have that teacher. And the case said, what happens when you get a teacher like that 1 year, or the second year, or the third year? Research says that as a student, you fall further and further behind. And that is a civil rights issue for us. And that's one of the reasons why I absolutely agreed with the initial ruling, because on that issue, it is not fair for kids to not have to bear the burden of a system not being ready to support its educators. Now, along the way, I've come to work with a number of teachers' unions. I'm proud to be supported by our United Teachers of Richmond as an endorsed candidate, because it's with our educators that we must work with to actually find the solution on evaluation. Thank you.
Thank you. And lastly, Ms. Calloway.
Thank you. I believe that the teachers should be evaluated on many levels. However, I don't believe it should stop with the teachers. I believe that our superintendent as well as administrators need to be evaluated as well overall. And so because the teachers are given a directive, they're following a directive from superintendent, from administration. And so maybe some things like forums with the community voice needs to be heard on what it is that the teacher is doing, because you can be a teacher for many years but not producing the quality education that our students so deserve and need. And so I believe that we should come together and have more community forums to inform not only the community, but so the teachers, administration, and the superintendent can hear what our community feels that our student needs. And we need to hire more representatives of our Black and brown students. They need to see those that look like them. I see it be.
Thank you. At this time, we will ask each of you to give your closing statement, 1 minute each, starting with you, Ms. Vanessa Calloway.
Thank you. So again, thank you all for coming out this evening. I have over 20 years of experience of working with our youth and young adults, and currently I'm still working with our youth and young adults. I'm the resident service coordinator for Monterey Pines and Cypress Pines, and I facilitate after-school program. And over the years, I've been strongly that one that believe in parent voice and advocating for our families and giving them what they so deserve, quality education, and not only educating our students, but educating our parents so that they can understand the rhetoric that we're using when we're speaking about their students. And so, I'm a champion for our students, a champion for our families and employees. Why? Because at some point, someone was my champion, and it's why I decided to take this seat so that I can advocate on a different level for those in our community, those that we're supposed to be preparing for the future. Let's educate our students and make for sure that whatever they decide when they leave 12th grade, that they're ready for it, whether it's college or a trade. Thank you again. Vote Vanessa.
Thank you. Ms. Cuevas.
Thank you. Again, my name is Valerie Cuevas. I'm currently serving as a school board president. I ask that you please vote for me one more time. I'm number 3 on the ballot. You're going to get 3 choices. Please make Valerie Cuevas one of those choices. The The reason I'm asking is because just like we see at the national level, experience matters. We need leaders who actually have an experience understanding of what our budget issues are, what our leadership concerns are, and what are the problems we're facing with. We face everything as school board members these days, from kids bringing guns to school to making sure that we have supports for kids who aren't learning with the supports that we provide. How do we bridge those gaps? And how do we do and provide needs for all students with limited dollars? We can't elect folks like the fiasco we have in Washington, D.C. right now, where we elected somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. And so here's your chance at the local level to say, I'm going to invest and vote in somebody who actually has experience, and that's what I offer you. I'm just asking for one more term so I can continue to have the privilege to serve you and meet the needs that are modern-day needs for our schools today. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Ms. Hernandez-Jarvis.
My name is Stephanie again, and I humbly ask for your vote in this election cycle. I'm running because I truly care about the kids in our community and about the real impact that lacking the resources that we need in our classroom has each day for our kids. As a mother, I also have a little toddler who's going to spend over a decade in these schools, and I want her to have the best experience, just like every parent here wants that for their child. I believe that we can work together, we can collaborate and support our teachers so that we keep the teachers that are here and retain them and improve the way that we serve them so they can serve our children better. I think if we're able to do that and retain our teachers, we can improve our reading scores, we can improve our social emotional learning and school climate. We can also improve the way that we deal, with behaviors early on in school, and we don't focus on just, reactive measures when they grow up, but focus on preventive measures when they're little and when we can really intervene and help them, to succeed in life. I also care a lot about having teachers collaborate and really improve our schools from the ground up. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Duhan.
Good evening again. My name is Patricio Duhan, and I'm running for school board because I know that we can do better at West Contra Costa. We're not serving our students well, especially students of color. Too many students are failing quickly, often in the third grade and continuing throughout. We see a lot of the issues that arise with suspensions, not ready for college because students aren't reading on grade level as early as third grade, and we need to change that. I'll bring my perspectives as a father with two daughters in the school system, as a teacher, as an education leader, and a Latino immigrant to the school board in order to look at all the issues from those perspectives, but really focused on what matters most. What matters for students in the classrooms, what matters for teachers with professional development and retention, and what matters at schools as we change the culture to a culture of academic success. So I humbly ask for your vote, Patricio Duhan, for school board. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gonzalez.
We have to look at our practices. This district has never evaluated its instructional system against the approaches used by other successful districts. There is an approach, there are tools, there are protocols that emerge from schools called 90-90-90 schools. 90% black and brown, 90% welfare or poverty, 90% above grade level, all over this country. What did they do? Look at the book, about 21 high-performing schools in low-poverty areas in California called No More Excuses. What did they do? We need to ask that question. Voting is easy, and voting for 3 is easy. The real work is, are we willing, are you willing to demand that this system look at itself?
Thank you. Mrs. Cronenberg.
Thank you all again for being here. I'm Madeline Cronenberg. I'm running again for school board because the work isn't done. The issue we have right now, more than any other issue, is the fact that we need to invest in our teachers and get them to stay. We had an incredible rate of turnover among our teachers. So we've given them a big raise, and that's going to help. It's going to help a lot to grow a teaching corps with experience. That's step one. Step two is to really grow them internally. So my hope is that we will start a teaching academy, an education academy, where we recruit our own students to become our own teachers. Beyond that, we need to address the achievement gap. We need to bring community services into the school, into all of our schools where they're struggling with academic achievement, and we can do a much better job of that. And finally, we need to have safe schools, safe physically and safe emotionally. We need to make sure that we have programs that attack bullying. Please vote for Madeline Cronenberg, madelineCronenberg.com.
Thank you. Ms. Elizabeth Block.
It's clear that all the other school board candidates care a lot about students and want to improve our schools. We all agree on that. But I am unique in this group because of my 35 years in public education at multiple levels, as a school staff member, as a site principal, and as a special education administrator in the district. I know how to improve schools because I've done it myself. I had my own turnaround school in Bay Point, where together with the work of other teachers and parents, we transformed that school and improved the progress of our students. I came on the board specifically to improve academic outcomes and school climate for our students, and that is what we are doing. We need experienced and knowledgeable school board members to improve our schools. Re-elect Liz Block. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Lara.
Yes, my goals, among many, the safe schools, safe for our students and our staff, and also literacy, that our students read at grade level, and biliteracy, to be biliterate, as well as being trained for the job market. So if they are trained in a skill and can read and write in 2 languages, that makes them very apt to have a successful career after graduation. I'm concerned about a school board that solves problems and doesn't cause problems, that there would be more collegiality, more collaboration, and that people come together and, like I said, have more collegiality and understand that what it means to have a team, what it means to collaborate, and show us that indeed the school board knows how to do that.
Thank you. Mr. Taboida.
Thank you. Well, thank you for everyone for coming and for watching this event. My name is Carlos Taboada, and I'm asking you to vote for me in this election because I think I have the experience and the knowledge necessary. I have the experience where it counts as a teacher for 21 years in our district, and I have the knowledge. I'm amply qualified. I have degrees in economics, philosophy, and I think that we have serious problems. One of our biggest problems is indifference. I think we're facing 2 key issues. One is the so-called opportunity achievement gap. It demands that we reassess, reevaluate, we press the stop button and ask ourselves where we are going. The other issue is the white elephant in the room, the alternative school district that we are subsidizing with our tax dollars. If we continue this way, we are going to get exactly where we're going. We are already a school with 20% of our student body in charter schools. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And certainly last but not least, Mr. Caro.
Hello, my name is Anthony Caro, and this board needs a young community organizer, and that's who I hope to be. We're in a state of emergency right now. I don't know if you know this, but at Kennedy High School, only 1/3 of the graduates qualified to go to college. I'm not saying 1/3 went to college, I'm saying 1/3 qualified. Why is that? That's because our graduation standards are not the same as the requirements to get into college. Right now, you have a board that is very, very passive. They only address issues when the issues are brought up to them. How do we expect to move forward when the same old isn't working anymore? You need to elect somebody that's young, that's new, and that's coming in with some fresh ideas. I have the energy, passion, and the drive to get things done because the same old is not working anymore. A lot of our black and brown students are leaving this school district because their parents don't feel safe. They don't feel like they could send them here and that we could provide a quality education for them. I've door-to-door knocked at hundreds of doors, and I'm telling you, so many of our parents do not want to go to school here, and it's not because, it's not because of whatever reason. Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of the League of Women Voters of West Contra Costa, I'd like to thank the Contra Costa County Library the County Elections Department, and CCTV for putting on this event. Thank you.
Very